I remember being in elementary school, right? And I would go school shopping with my mom. Like 2 weeks before class would start, we would get these lists and we would have to go to Walmart or just wherever we would go. And we'd have to get everything on this list. And it was like you need like 5 folders and 3 binders and pens and pencils and all this stuff. If my stuff was not Lisa Frank, I didn't want it. Hey guys, Courtney here with Courtney's Customs, and today I am doing a Lisa Frank tumbler. This is going to be super cool. I'm really excited. And right now I'm using a 20 ounce from Anchor Flow Crafts, and I'll have my link down in the description. And as you can see, I just made it a complete mess, but I actually think it already looks kind of pretty, but maybe that's just me. But I used 5 different spray paints, and I was going to take you guys outside and like set up my camera and so you could see what I was doing. There's a lot of snow outside right now and it's very cold, and I just really didn't want to take my camera out there, so really all I did was take the spray paint in each color and just like psh, psh, psh. You like that? Psh, psh. Why am I so awkward? So anyway, the paint colors that I used for all of this they're all Rust-Oleum because that's all I ever use. And this is Lagoon, Prickly Pear, right? Yeah, Prickly Pear, Key Lime, Lemongrass, Real Orange, and Grape. And they're a mixture of like satins and glosses, and really none of that matters. Just me personally, I like the matte paints better. I just feel like they don't run. Like these glosses and like the high gloss, I feel like they run really easily. So if I can, I always get matte paints, but I mean, you know, sometimes I get what I can get. So I have this crazy painted tumbler, and all I'm going to do for today is put some glitter on it. And I am using Blitz from the Glitter Grind. This is not necessarily an opal, but it is such a very light rainbow colored glitter. I feel like a light coverage of this with this crazy colored background, you're still going to get kind of like that mixture of colors underneath of this glitter. So with all of that being said, let's get started. So you want to make sure that all of that paint is dry, because that is a lot of paint, and after it is completely dry, it's not tacky or runny or sticky anywhere, I'm going to go ahead and coat it with Mod Podge. This is the kind that I like to use, and I get it from Amazon. And I'm going to go in with my little makeup brush and just coat the entire tumbler. And of course Mod Podge will dry clear, so don't worry about that. You might just not get like the full color effect that I'm going for here until after that Mod Podge is completely dry, so you can really see all of the color underneath. And something that I found that I like to do on the bottom here where there's like those rings, instead of like rubbing and trying to get in, I like to pat or like stamp my brush down, and that gets in those little rings a lot easier. So tip of the day, there we go. Alright, so I've got a pretty even coverage, looks like. So now I'm going to go in with Blitz from the Glitter Grind, which of course I will have my link for them in the description. And I literally do this every time. I don't take this off before I start. And I'm wondering, since I'm wanting a light coverage, should I just leave? Yeah, I'm going to leave the shaker on, or the lid on. Normally when I'm using chunky glitters, I take the lid off and I just like dump it. But I'm wanting not so heavy of a coverage, even though I want a full coverage. I mean, it makes sense to me. If it doesn't to you, I'm sorry. Okay, so now that that's covered, but you see what I mean though? Like, even though it's not like a completely opal, if you give it a, you know, a little shake here and there all over it, then you're still going to see that like spectrum of color underneath of it. So let me just get this back into the container really quick. and I'll show you what I do with my chunky glitters. Because chunky glitters, they're gorgeous. Like, they're my favorite glitters, like, visually, but working with them and trying to get them smooth is a pain in the butt. So lay it down on your wax paper and then just kind of like very gently roll it up and push down. So what you're doing is you're pushing that glitter flat onto the cup, because sometimes here and there will be pieces that don't want to lay down flat, and then when you epoxy over it, it's like a blade. Like, it is so friggin' sharp. And some of it will come off, but like, it's not much to make a big deal out of. I'm just gonna push down on the bottom here. I used to go around and push down with my finger, and then I was like, wow, this is taking forever. So now I do this. And it looks like everything is very well flattened. I just turn it sideways and look, and if I see anything that's poking up, I will just push it down with my finger. But everything looks great. So now all I'm going to do is give it about 10 minutes to make sure that Mod Podge is totally dry, and then I'm going to seal it probably twice. I like to seal my chunky glitters more than once, so I'm going to seal it twice with clear Rust-Oleum, and then I'm going to do epoxy. Even though everything's flat, it's still probably going to take a couple coats of epoxy, so I will be back in 2 days to show you guys the rest. So now we have this gorgeous little piece of art here, and what I'm going to do is take the sanding block. I got them on Amazon. They come in a pack of 4, and I will make sure to put a link directly to Amazon for these, because I like these so much better than like regular pieces of sanding paper. So this is still like just a little bit rough in spots, so I'm just going to sand it down really, really well until it feels smooth. I went inside and kind of washed it off a little bit because it did get pretty dusty from all that sanding, but it feels pretty smooth. And the only thing we're going to do next, well, I can't say the only thing, there's like a lot more to do, but the thing we're going to do next is, you know how during a peekaboo you paint it 2 different colors, like you paint it the first color, let it dry, then the next color. So you can choose whatever color that you want for the first color. I'm going to do pink because I do have a very, very pretty pink and I just like it, so that's what I'm going to use. Then I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to paint it again, and it's going to be white. There are holes in my spray paint. See that? Weird. So now that both layers of spray paint are dry, we're going to go on with the next step, which is some alcohol inks. And I tried to mimic the colors of what I used, like spray paint, with the alcohol inks. So I have a pink, a green, a yellow, a purple, and a blue. So give them a good shake. And you're going to need some like cotton balls, or maybe even like a makeup sponge. Like one of those like slanted white makeup sponges that come in a bag of like a gazillion at Walmart. You can try one of those. I'm going to use cotton balls because that's what I got. So using those, and I'm going to start with the darkest color. I think would be a good idea, which I think is the purple. So I am just going to squirt some on this little wax paper here. Hurry up and grab a cotton ball because it is trying to run away. And I'm just trying to dab some color, pretty much like what I did with the spray paint, but now I'm doing it with some alcohol ink. now this is what we have, which screams Lisa Frank to me anyway. And the alcohol ink is going to dry almost instantly, but I'm just going to let it sit for a couple minutes just to be safe. I have this little squirt bottle here that I got from the dollar store, it looks like. Family Dollar to be exact. It was only $1. And I'm going to put some 91% rubbing alcohol in here very gently. Try not to spill it everywhere. I'm probably not going to need that much, but I don't want to make it hard to come out. Put the lid back on here and make sure you are on a fine mist, not the stream. And I'm going, ooh, yuck. So I'm going to stand up pretty far back from this cup and very gently spray this rubbing alcohol to try and give it like a blotchy, bleached look. So get it going. There we go. So I'm pretty far away from it. I'm trying to like dry it very quickly so it doesn't run and cause like ink to run everywhere. Sorry if that's like super loud for you. So now we have like these really cool looking like blotchy little bleach spots. So the next thing that we're going to do is use these Q-tips that I have here and pure acetone that I get from Amazon. I will make sure to put links for everything that I'm using here down in my description. And I'm going to start actually with a cotton ball to try to kind of make my little geode spot here bigger, I guess, and then I'll finish it off with the Q-tip. So you're going to take some rubbing, or no, I'm sorry, not rubbing alcohol. You want the pure acetone on a cotton ball, and it looks really messy right now, but that's why I'm going to clean it up with the Q-tips for. And just pick some random spots, maybe some spots that didn't turn out very well, or like some of that rubbing alcohol kind of ran a little bit. You can pick spots like that, or I mean, if your cup is perfect, then good for you. Just pick some random spots, okay? Okay, so now I'm going to clean those spots up with some rubbing alcohol and a Q-tip. Just make sure that rubbing alcohol doesn't like affect any of the alcohol ink that you have on the outside of these little geode spots. And this is going to reveal the glittered spots that we made a couple of days ago. Let me just say, I'm really glad these nails are $3 press-on nails from the dollar store because I've ruined them. This is what I've got, and it's super pretty, very colorful. It's like a Lisa Frank inspired Geode Tumbler, I guess. I mean, all of the colors just made me think of Lisa Frank, and so that's what I'm calling it. So what I'm going to do is put a couple coats of epoxy on it. In the first coat of epoxy, I'm going to add in this gorgeous additive from the glitter grind. It's called Helix. It literally just takes like, I don't know, like the size of a pea. Like seriously, it takes a very, very little amount in your epoxy, mix it up real good, add it, and it gives it like a very beautiful, subtle sparkle. And then after that, I'll just add the final top coat of epoxy. And that will be it for that tumbler, I think. I'm not going to do any decals or anything because there's already like a lot going on. So that's all I have for you guys today on this Lisa Frank inspired tumbler. If y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns, like always, please feel free to comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks guys. Bye.